This is a Friedtanzer from Awards Radar, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with Lu Richardson about The White Lotus.
Can I say something? The word thrilled is my favorite word these days. I say it all the time. I'm just like, it's just such a fun word to say. And even if I'm not thrilled, if I say the word thrilled, it makes me feel thrilled. And since I've been saying it, everyone around me is just like, I'm hearing that word. I'm like, wow, so many people use this word thrilled. And I never knew.
Well, I appreciate the enthusiasm. It's definitely a good start to our conversation.
I'm enthusiastic and thrilled.
Can you tell me what you knew about The White Lotus before you came on board for season 2?
Well, I had watched the first season like everyone else, and I really wanted to work with Mike. He'd been on like my tiny list of directors and writers and filmmakers that I really wanted to work with. And so yeah, those two things.
I do think I can already tell you seem a bit more expressive and upbeat than Portia. Can you tell me what you related to about her character?
Yeah, I hope I'm just a smidge happier than Portia. She's pretty miserable and pitiful, which I am sometimes as well. But you know, that's life. What I related to was this like extreme desperation to be fulfilled and like have the world give back to you in a way that you feel like you give to the world, and then just the disappointment and exhaustion of that not happening.
Yeah. And have you been ever in like a work situation like the one she finds herself with the boss who's not necessarily so terrible, but she's definitely not good?
Yeah, I've definitely worked with some people who I guess you could consider my boss. If they're like directors or producers or whatever. I guess, yeah, I've definitely worked with some not great people. So, so I like how at the beginning I was like, I'm thrilled, I'm so happy. And now I'm just saying all this negative shit. But yeah, I definitely can relate to just like this resentment towards this person that just doesn't get it and that just doesn't see you or treat people well. So yeah.
I can imagine the experience of working with Jennifer Coolidge was not like that.
Oh yeah, Jennifer is a blast. She's a hoot, some might say. She's a hoot. She is kind and charming and hilarious, obviously. And the world knows that much. She's so smart. She's fascinating. She's one of a kind. She is amazing. She's the most unique human being I've ever known.
I enjoyed how things started off and how, Albie was into her and that looked like it was going somewhere. Did you have a preference for one of the two relationships that Portia explored?
Did I personally as me or
Yeah.
as Portia?
You can answer both ways.
Honestly, I don't think either of those guys were going to be good for her in the end. I don't think any partner or romance would necessarily be great for her at this time in her life. I think she needs to like be kind of alone and look inward and face the music of, you know, her soul and her dreams and her agency in her own life and in her choices. And yeah, I think she needs to just like grab her life by the balls. um
Yeah,
yeah,
because
that's Portia's tagline. Come on, Portia, grab your life by the balls. um yeah, I think she needs some Portia time. Yeah.
do you see her as a good person or is she responsible for some negative things or maybe both?
Both. I think both. I think that she means well. I think she's trying. I think there's hope for her. There's a lot of empathy that I have for her and the time she's growing up in, the life she's had, the opportunities she's been given or not given in her life. I think I have a lot of empathy for all of that. And I think that the kind of stuck, selfish, desperate, pitiful place that she's in this moment that we see her on the show, I think that like a person can get out of that and can break free of that and can grow from that. And so there's like this redeemable thing about her. I definitely don't think she's a bad person. I think she's stuck. I think she's really stuck.
Things do also definitely get creepy as the season goes on with just, what she's doing with Jack and everything. Was it weird to go down that road, or were things a little bit more, sort of upbeat on set?
Oh yeah, definitely every day that we were on set was a different vibe in terms of like kind of how I had to show up as an actor and what emotional space we all had to be in. But I think like for the most part it is weird because when you're filming like a thriller or like a, sorry, I have a burp that I keep suppressing. But when you're filming like a drama or a horror film, there's an energy oftentimes on the set that's like very kind of, that's the priority, is like the energy that, we as a group and the actors and the creative kind of has to be in to match that mood and be in that space and everything. But this show is all over the place in terms of emotional range and jokes and irony and anger and characters. Like it's all over. The tone is so unique and all these characters are so specific that it's like, and what they go through is so extreme that it's like, it's very different in that way. So sometimes like one day I showed up on set and I was listening to music because I knew that the set was going to be an energy that was kind of more like loud and all these things and boisterous. And I showed up and I was like, had my headphones in, and I think Mike had only seen me match that like boisterous vibe of the set. And then I showed up that day and he was like, "Ooh, are you in a bad mood?" I'm like, "No, Mike, I'm acting. I'm trying to, be in it." But yeah, I really felt like a safe, Mike cared so much about getting things right. And the show meant so much to him and being specific about it all. And I felt really safe with the actors I worked with. So yeah.
Obviously, Jennifer came back for season 2, and there's some talk of other cast members returning for future seasons. Do you feel like you've done what you wanted to with Portia, or would you like the opportunity to check back in with her in the future?
I would be thrilled with either. I feel like Portia went on a crazy journey in this season. She's been through a lot. So like it did feel like an end to me. And I've kind of been putting her in her cute little box dressed in a bucket hat. I've like put her in that little box. But like I think Mike is so smart that if he ever did have some idea for Portia moving forward, I know it would be amazing. So yeah.
The show also has a pretty active fan base. Have you encountered any surprising reactions to Portia from people out in the world?
I think every reaction to Portia was surprising to me. I did not expect people to pick this girl apart quite so much. Like I just really at first I was just really protective of her. I was like kind of took it personally. And then I remembered, oh, this is the character I made. And this show is meant, like these characters on the show are designed for people to judge and pick apart, and some people are going to relate to these characters. Some people are going to empathize with them. Some people are going to connect, and other people are going to be like, "Oh my God, I knew a girl like that and I hated that bitch," So it's like, so I think that's the point. Or like, "Oh my God," like some things are so, what's the word people on Twitter were using with Portia? Insufferable. Some things about these characters, Portia included, like were really insufferable to some people. So yeah, I wasn't ready for how severe the response was going to be, but it's kind of the point.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And the show has such a terrific ensemble. You obviously only interacted with so many people. Is there any actor or character you would have
Aubrey.
loved to Seriously,
Aubrey.
Aubrey?
Aubralina, Plazalina. Yeah, I will work with Aubrey, like actually work with her. I will one day. I'm manifesting it and I will force it to happen if manifestation doesn't work. Yeah, I've just admired her and been obsessed with her for so long. She's another, like Jennifer, just like truly one of a kind person, presence, humor, talent. She's like, she's Aubrey, Aubrey Plaza, like kind of an icon to me in my life. So, yeah, one
How do
day
you
I'll
think
actually
Portia
share
and
the
Harper?
screen. Oh yeah,
How-
there could be Portia Harper spinoff. Imagine how just negative that would be. The conversations between Harper and Portia would be the most abysmal, negative, torturous, depressing conversations.
I'm sure that would be very enjoyable, and I hope you get to work with her someday, and that maybe we'll see more of Portia or something else in the future.
Maybe. We'll see. I'll let you know if I ever hear from Mike ever again.
What do you have coming up?
I'm not sure yet. I've been trying to be selective and intentional about the next thing I do because I was fulfilled in certain ways with White Lotus, but there were like kind of other things that I didn't get to explore in a character like that on a show like that like kind of left me like hungry for a different kind of fulfillment. So I'm just reading a lot of scripts and waiting for that one that really hits.
Awesome. Oh, I wish you plenty of luck with that.
Thanks, Abe.